I am who I'm meant to be.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I am back with another 3 looks video. This time we are using the new e.l.f. Opposites Attract palette. This palette retails for $14. It is available now on the e.l.f. website. I'm not sure where else it's available because I couldn't find it anywhere else and I tried very hard. There are 18 shades, 9 of them are warm toned and 9 of them are cool toned, so it's split directly down the middle. There are 6 shimmer shades and 12 matte shades in here, so if you have a preference one way or the other, that might sway you, but there are definitely more mattes. It's a very matte heavy palette. And because I know my regular viewers are going to mention it, yes, my hair is different today. No, I didn't cut it. I just was feeling bored, so I got some clip-in bangs. I'm old enough to have learned my lesson that real bangs look terrible every time I cut them. I have a short forehead and I have thick hair, and it's not a cute combination. So I got some clip-ins to get the itch out of my system. I'll probably be over them in a week, just like real bangs, but unlike real bangs, I could just stop wearing them. So that's what we've got going on here today. Whenever I do a 3 looks video, I try to split it up so that some of the looks are a little bit more labor intensive or like skill intensive than others. And I think we got a nice mix of those two going on in this video. I tried to add a little bit of fall flair into some of these looks too, just because it is that time of the year. It's upon us. So if you're looking for some fall looks, I wanted to help you out with that. So there were 2 main reasons why I wanted to do a 3 looks video with this specific palette. First of all, people seemed like they were really excited for this palette when it first came out because it is an interesting assortment of colors and it is at a drugstore price. And the second reason is just that, because it is at a drugstore price. That way it's not always breaking the bank for you guys. And also, I wanted to mention this because I've been doing a lot of 3 looks videos lately. 3 looks videos are a great way to A, review an item, and B, get ideas for a palette if it is something that you are going to buy. But I don't ever want you guys to feel like you have to rush out and buy every palette that I do a 3 looks video with, because a lot of the times you can absolutely create these looks with stuff you already have or like alternative palettes. There are always options. I don't want to seem like I am just jamming new palettes down your throat all the time and that you need to run out and buy them. If you do want a particular palette, I'm here to provide ideas, and I'm also here to provide a little bit of insight on how they work. And if you don't want to, definitely still try to recreate the looks if you like them with something else, because I don't ever want to be the reason why you own 65 eyeshadow palettes that you don't really need. I would rather be the reason that you own 10 eyeshadow palettes that you absolutely love. You know what I mean? We have a lot of looks to get through. I think this is going to be a pretty long video. I think maybe you might want to go get a beverage. Before we get started, please don't forget to hit that like button because it really helps me out and I really appreciate it. Also, if you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe because I would love to have you stick around for more videos. And I always say, whenever I start a video and I'm like, oh, I like this person, I like her makeup, I'm going to subscribe. And then I forget at the end and it auto plays onto something else and then I forget who it was and then I lose them forever. And that's that. All right, I'm going to be quiet now because we've got a lot of eyeshadow to do. So let's zoom in and get started on the first look. For the first look, I'm gonna start off in the warm section in my crease. So I'm gonna pick up a MAC 217 brush and start by dipping into the color Cheeky. Ooh, so far, very happy with that pigmentation. Wow. Okay, e.l.f. All right. I see what you're doing over here. I'm impressed. Next, I'm going to pick up a clean blending brush. This is a blending brush that I just got from Alamar. I think this is the first time I'm using this, actually. It's going to blend along that edge. Okay, and she's blending real cute, too. So I'm going to clean that brush off on a color switch sponge and go into a little bit of a deeper shade. I'm going to go into the brown shade here called Warm. And I'm using a very small amount of that and just popping it on the outer portion of the crease to deepen it a touch. I'm going to go back in with a pencil brush and put a little bit more of that because I didn't really get enough and I think I need a smaller brush. Next, I'm going to go into the shade Easy Going, which is a bright matte purple, on a Real Technique shading brush. Okay, I zoomed you guys in pretty tight because I want you to see what I'm talking about. The brown shade that was called Warm is, it's not blending that nice. It's kind of skipping over my skin and clinging to spots and not blending super smoothly. Just something to note before you go out and buy a bitch. As As far as this look is concerned, I think we're going to be able to salvage it no problem, because that's just kind of an area where I'm going to go back over it with more stuff anyway, but I just figured while it was visible, I would show you guys. I wasn't planning on doing this part, but since this really could use some cleaning up in the center, I'm gonna dip into some of my whiteout brow pomade from Kat Von D. You guys know I love this as like a brightening base for shadows. Maybe you don't know, maybe you're new here. If you're new here, I love this as a brightening base for shadows. And I'm using another brush from Alamar. This is a nice little flat brush. I got all these Alamar brushes in my BoxyCharm this month, and so far they seem like really nice quality. I'm not surprised because the Alamar eyeshadow palette that I got in BoxyCharm was amazing. On a pencil brush, this actually happens to be an e.l.f. pencil brush, I'm gonna go into the color Chill. I'm gonna put that on the white portion, but only around the edges. And blending that in toward the center. On the center of that, I'm gonna use a little bit of the shade Clever, also on a pencil brush. That shade's actually much prettier than I was expecting it to be. I'm gonna pick up the same flat brush, I cleaned it off in between. I'm then gonna go into the color Low Key. And this time I'm going to dampen that with some Fix Plus. Interesting, that kind of has like a little bit of a pink shift to it that I wasn't expecting. Cool, fun. I feel like this look needs the outside corners darkened up quite a bit. So I'm going to go into this off black shade here called Genuine on a MAC 219 pencil brush. Just gonna pack that onto that outer corner area. To make this look a little bit more interesting and not so similar to all the things that we've been doing recently, I'm gonna start with the Urban Decay Razor Sharp Liner in the color Bump. I find that it's really difficult to find a white liquid liner that works really, really well. As far as they are concerned, this is as close as I have come to a really good one. If you like layer too much of it over itself, it does kind of start to crack. So that is still not great, but as far as white liners are concerned, this is my go-to. And to get that more perfect and opaque without going back over it with the razor sharp liner a bunch of times, I'm going to layer over that with the Kat Von D brow pomade in whiteout. Works excellent as a gel eyeliner. This liner provides a lot of precision, whereas this one just kind of makes it more smooth. They make a good team. All right, this looks really weird right now. Looking in the monitor, I look weird as shit, but it's gonna come together. I think I promise. I want to start working on the lower lash line, and what I want to do is do it a different color, but bring it together. Ooh, I have a hair stuck over here. Hey, ow, I just pulled it out of my head. What I want to do is use the same color that I used in the crease to blend it out, and then use a different color under it, you know what I mean? That's the darker shade to differentiate. So it's together, but different. So we're gonna pick up the same MAC 217 brush and go back into that peach shade Cheeky. And I'm gonna run that underneath my eyes, bringing it out underneath that wing to meet that top part. And next I'm going to pick up another Alamar brush. This is a little flat kind of shader brush. And I'm gonna go into this deep green shade here, Wise, and I'm gonna smoke out the lower lash line with that shade. Really hoping this doesn't look like a pile of ass. I'm just gonna blend that with a clean pencil brush. I'm gonna go back into my Urban Decay Razor Sharp Liner in the color Bump, and I'm gonna try to extend the inner corner. Oh wow, that actually was easier than I was expecting it to be. Usually I suck ass at doing that. And on a Sigma E06 winged liner brush, I'm going to go back into the Kat Von D whiteout brow product, brow pomade, and I'm gonna run that through my waterline and connect that into the extended inner corner. This is one of those looks that's definitely going to come together with mascara and lashes, so I'm gonna pop off camera, throw some lashes on, and then we'll move on to a lip. All right, I went ahead and popped on the Rouge and Rogue Noirella lashes. I think that's what these are. They were laying on my counter. Pretty sure that's what they are. See what I mean though about how it kind of all comes together a lot better with that white liner. Once it has a lash and some mascara on, it just kind of grounds everything back down to the earth, but it still has that interesting pop of, oh, that's something different. So considering that we have a whole lot going on this eye, I want to keep the lip fairly nude, but I think I still want it to be like something like sexy. So I'm gonna do a liner, a nude liner, and like a really glossy champagne gloss. This is the e.l.f. lip gloss in the color Champagne Glam. They just so happened to send this as a gift with purchase with the palette, so I figured it'd be perfect. I'm gonna apply that over the Nabla lip liner in the color Touch Me. And here is the first look. For the second look, we're going to mainly stick to the warm section of the palette this time. I'm going to start with this shade Saucy, which is like a mustard color, on a BH number 5 brush, and I'm going to pack that through my crease and blend it out. For the lid, I want that to be like a peachy orange shade. So I'm going to go into the shade Cheeky that we used in the last look. As soon as I started to dip into that color, I thought to myself, I'm gonna need to use this as more of like a featured color. This needs a moment. So on a MAC 217, I'm gonna pack that all over my lid. Meeting that with the shade Saucy in the crease and just blending them together. On a flat brush, I'm going to go into the color Low Key, which looks like a white, but we discovered in the last look that this is actually a little bit of a pink, kind of. So I'm gonna pop that right in the center just to bring a little bit of life to that peach shade without actually changing the peachiness of it. On a really small blending brush, I'm going to deepen the crease just in this outer portion, just very, very slightly, because I want to give a little bit of shape to my lids because my lids are very blunt, but I don't want to overdo it. So I'm going to take a Sigma EO6 brush. It's like a super tiny little blending brush. I'm going to dip it just into the teeniest bit of warm because, as we remember, I had a little bit of trouble blending warm in the last look, and I'm going to dip a little bit into Cheeky, just kind of mix them together so you get a halfway in between shade, and just hope that that works well. Ooh, that worked perfect. Good solution, Nicole. Well played. Tell me why I'm holding all of my brushes like this and the palette at the same time. This is not making my life any easier. Why am I doing this? I'm thinking the inner corner could probably use a little pop of brightness too. So I'm gonna go back into Low Key on a pencil brush, but this time I'm going to dampen it before I apply it. For the lower lash line, I want to smoke this out in kind of like a warm, but also shimmery way. So I'm going to go into the color Sassy, which is a lighter peachy shade, on a BH number 5. And I'm gonna drag that down very, very low underneath my eyes. That's a really, really pretty peach shade. Next, I'm going to go into the metallic shade Bold on a Thrive Cosmetics liner brush. I'm gonna dampen that with some Fix Plus and then push it all along the lower lash line. I'm picking up some of that shade Bold on a slightly larger brush. This is a BH number 7. I'm going to dampen this as well and just use it to place that a little bit further down because the smudgy brush is good for getting it close to the lower lash line, but it doesn't really spread it well. So I want to make sure that it's more visible. So I'm gonna kind of push it on with this. Just beware, this might cause some fallout because it already is for me. I'm gonna pick up that flat liner brush from Alamar Cosmetics again, and I'm gonna go a little bit into the shade Smooth, and I'm gonna push that along the lower lash line. That's actually not quite dark enough for what I want, so I'm going to go into the shade Genuine as well on the same brush. Better. I want to add some glitter to the lower lash line. So I'm going to use one of the Lime Crime Diamond Dew shadows. This is in the shade Chameleon, which is kind of like a red with some other reflective-y colors in there. Green, purple, orange, you name it. I'm gonna pick that up from the wand on a MAC 217 brush because I don't want it quite so concentrated as it will be if I put it right from the wand. I'm gonna pick up a second shade of the Diamond Dew glitter. This is the color Rose Gulls. Now this one has more of an almost clear base, so it doesn't have like, this one definitely has like a little bit of like a burgundy purple undertone, which paired really nicely with the colors that we put underneath there. But this one will give a little bit more of a punch of bright glitter without adding any actual eyeshadow color to it. Again, I'm gonna pick it up from the wand though and use it on, this is a Morphe M433, which is kind of like the Morphe equivalent to a MAC 217. And I'm gonna push that over the area that we put down the other glitter. Honestly, you don't have to do this much glitter. This is a little bit extra, but I mean, being a little bit extra is kind of what I'm here for. Now I need to put a color through the waterline, because right now this looks not attractive. It doesn't look cute yet. We always go through this phase though, and hopefully by now you guys trust me. Sometimes I don't trust me. I'm gonna go through the waterline with the Urban Decay 24/7 pencil in the color Alkaline. It's a nice burgundy purpley color, go along with the shades we got on the bottom. And before I go put mascara and lashes on, which by the way, again, is what's gonna make this look cute, whereas it does not look cute right now. I need to put a little bit of a place for the lashes to stick, somewhere for them to sit, a lash couch. So I'm gonna do a thin line across the waterline with the Kat Von D Dagger liner. Been kind of my go-to liner these days. I've been really enjoying it. I still love the Fenty one, but the shape of this one is really awesome. So I've been like playing with using it and like making different shapes with it and stuff. I'm gonna go put on some mascara and some lashes, and then we will pair this with a nice fall lip. I felt like this needed some lashes, like lashes, because it needed to balance out the slightly sickly with glitter look that we had going on the bottom portion here. So I used the KOKO Lashes Venus Lash, which are huge, but they're very pretty, and they're very light, and they're very easy to wear. I also feel like in order to bring this look to where pumpkin spice dreams are made of, I need some freckles. I need freckles today. I'm just gonna put a speckling, a smattering of faux freckles across my cheeks, a couple on my chin, maybe one or two up here. Today I'm going to be using Freck. If you don't know what Freck is, it is a specific product meant to use to create faux freckles. However, I don't really think that it works any better than, say, using a brow pomade or a brow pencil necessarily, but I paid $20 for this tiny ass little bottle and I'm gonna use it up. That's that. I have to use it at this point. I have no choice, but I do recommend using like a brow pomade specifically right now. I really like the Kat Von D Superbrow in dark brown for freckles. Now, I think that brings the look together. I don't know why, but for some reason, when it's like over the top glitter, when it's a little bit unbalanced, just adding faux freckles just makes the look so much more, I don't know, it's just more interesting and more fresh, sort of. So if you don't like faux freckles, you can, come on, no, I'm just kidding. You can skip this part, but I like it. I recommend you try it. For the lip, I feel like I need something really, really dark and rich because it's kind of fall time and I haven't done anything like that yet this year. So I'm gonna start by lining my lips with the Kat Von D Everlasting Lip Liner in the shade Blood Milk. And I'm gonna fill that lip in with the Studded Kiss lipstick in the shade Mercy, which is also like a deep burgundy, but this has a little bit of metallic shimmer to it. And this, with my little fake bangs on, is the second look. Are you ready for look number 3? So for the third look, I want to get a little bit playful with my color placement, but I want to fall it up, you know? So we're going to use color and then make it fall. Ho, but then make it fashion. So I'm going to start by creating some light definition in the crease with the color Sassy. Sassy. I'm using the BH number 5 brush again. On the inner corner of the eye, I'm going to use the color Easygoing. On a MAC 217 brush, I'm going to just pack that on the inner corner and bring that up into the crease. This is a Sigma E70 angled shading brush. I don't really use this brush that much, but it's clean right now. And it also it works pretty good for the outer corner. So for the outer half, I'm going to use the shade Wise, but I'm leaving the middle open. And again, I'm going to pack that down and bring it into the crease. Wise is applying a little bit on the patchy side over a bigger area like this. So I'm going to see if I can get a better application by using a more concentrated pencil style brush. Yeah, that's definitely better. On a small blending brush, I'm just going to start to blend that out. Much like the brown shade that I had some trouble with earlier, this dark green shade is definitely not easy to blend. It's not impossible, just like the brown shade wasn't, but it's going to take some work, just so you know. It's not going to be like put it down, blend it out beautifully. It's like you gotta work for it. For the center, I'm going to go into the shade Spicy on a pencil brush, and I'm gonna wet that with a little bit of MAC Fix Plus. If I could find my MAC Fix Plus. Oh, found it. So I went ahead and did the other eye, but I'm getting sassy because I switched the colors around. I don't know, I wanted to play with the color placement of it a little bit, so there we go. After using the purple on the outer corner, I have concluded that both of these colors are actually really difficult to blend out over a large area. So that's that they're the darker mattes are a little, they're finicky. So because I'm obsessed right now with liquid glitter eyeshadows, I'm gonna pick up the MAC Dazzle Shadow Liquid. It is in the color Flash and Dash, and I am going to put that over the center portion where we put down that coppery gold shade. I'm gonna overlap it a little bit onto the green and purple as well, but just not as intensely as it is on the middle. Like, almost like blend the glitter out. Bringing the glitter all the way up. So you know what? Life is short. Concealed underneath my eyes. You know, I feel like this is giving me like Mardi Gras vibes or something. I think it's the absolute wrong time of year for that if I'm not mistaken, but I mean, it's the vibe I'm feeling. So for underneath the eyes, what I'm gonna do is on the side that has green on the outside, I'm going to smoke it out with green, and the side that has purple on the outside, I'm gonna smoke it out with the purple so that way it connects, you know, around the town. So I'm going back into the shade Wise on a pencil brush. So, you know, on the bottom, this is blending out a lot better, and I think it's because I have powder underneath my eyes. So I'm willing to bet that these would blend a lot more easily if you set your eye primer. I normally don't set my eye primer, but every now and then, if a shadow works better that way, you know, I'll make an exception when I have to. I want to make the waterline really, really dark for this look. So I'm going to use the Urban Decay 24/7 pencil in the color Perversion. I put on the KOKO lashes, Stella Lash again, because they were so delightful yesterday that I felt like they needed another go round. And also they were right here, so it was an easy choice. So for the lip with this, I want to bring in some fall tones and fall vibes again. So I'm gonna go with something really dark and something really glossy. You know what? While I'm at it, I'm gonna pick up the Milk Makeup tattoo stamp in the heart shape, and I'm gonna give myself a little heart under my cheek because I feel like it. My one gripe with the Milk tattoo stamps is sometimes the edge of the stamp gets on my skin, and then I have to wait for it to dry and then try to cover it up, which is not easy because it's very, very dark. But anyway, I'm gonna fix that in a second, but it looks cute as shit. I'm glad I did that. So for the lips, I'm going to be trying something new. I also got this in this month's BoxyCharm. This is the Lorac Pro Liquid Lipstick in the color Deep Burgundy. And on top of that, I'm going to use the Anastasia lip gloss in the color Maple. The color of that liquid lipstick is gorgeous, but I don't think I like the formula of this at all. It felt so tight on my lips as soon as it dried, and even now, like after I put the gloss on it, it's still crumbling in the middle. Like it looks pretty because the color is pretty and that's a gorgeous gloss, but like I had to go and like clean it. I'm gonna have to go clean this up with like a Q-tip or something. Like there's like literally chunks of the lipstick coming off in the middle, like chunkies. And it's been on for, no joke, 4 minutes. So yeah. And this is the third look. After doing 3 looks with this palette, I think for $14, this is a good buy. I definitely feel like the darker matte shades do have some difficulty blending, but after experimenting a little bit, they do. I have like so much chunkies on my lips from that freaking liquid lipstick that I can't even talk right. So please excuse me if I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, after experimenting a little bit and seeing how it blended over a set base, I think that if you blended them over a set base, they'd be absolutely fine. And they are so pigmented actually that you really don't need a sticky base to make the colors pop. The colors are super pigmented. So maybe when you first start, set your primer with like a translucent setting powder or a shadow that is almost your skin tone, something along those lines. I think that will be very, very, very helpful with this palette. As far as the assortment of colors, I actually really, really like the assortment that's in here. One small thing I do wish with this palette is I wish there was a gold tone that was more of like a gold rather than like a copper gold, because there really is only that one kind of goldish shimmer that's called Spicy, and it is really nice, but it's not like a true gold, and I feel like that as an addition to this palette would have really made it pop. As far as the packaging is concerned, it's not super heavy duty, it's not high-end packaging, but it's also much nicer packaging in my opinion than the NYX Swear By a palette, and also much nicer than the Rimmel Spice palette that I reviewed recently. But yeah, the cover is like, the plastic is pretty thin, but the plastic on the rest of it is a little bit heavier. So I feel like if I dropped this from a low height, it might be okay. It would be okay if I packed this in a makeup bag to bring it somewhere. I wouldn't be super worried about it. The only thing is the clip is not super secure, so I would be worried about it opening if it wasn't like tucked in between other things. But overall, for the price, I think this palette is really nice. I think that I'm hoping that it becomes available more widely, like in Target stores on the e.l.f. display, because I went to Target to look for this, more than one Target by the way, and it wasn't anywhere to be found. And I also couldn't find it on the Target website. The only place I found it was on elfcosmetics.com. So hopefully it'll become more widely available after it's been around for a little bit, because I think that it's a good buy for $14. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know, what do you think your favorite drugstore eyeshadow formula is, because I would love to know, have more ideas and things to go check out. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, because it really helps me out. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe, because I would love to have you stick around. If you feel like you haven't gotten enough of Nicole for the day, then please go ahead and follow me on other social media. I'm at Miss Quinface on pretty much every platform. Instagram is my biggest platform that I use the absolute most. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one.